Deep inside a quiet forest, there lived a fox who believed he was smarter than everyone else. But high above the trees, a wise old owl watched carefully. And soon, the foolish fox would learn that clever words mean nothing without wisdom. In a forest filled with tall pine trees and sparkling streams, lived a red fox named Felix. Felix was quick, sneaky, and loved tricking other animals. He stole eggs from nests, frightened rabbits for fun, and bragged constantly about how clever he was. "No one can outsmart me," Felix laughed proudly. The smaller animals grew tired of his tricks. But every time they complained, the fox simply smirked and walked away. At the center of the forest stood an ancient oak tree, and inside its hollow branches lived Olivia the owl. Olivia was calm, patient, and wise. Whenever animals had problems, they came to her for advice. One evening, Felix spotted the owl watching from her tree. "Why do animals admire you so much?" the fox teased. "You just sit there all day." Olivia blinked slowly. "Wisdom comes from listening and learning," she replied softly. Felix laughed loudly. "I don't need wisdom. I already know everything." The owl said nothing more. A few days later, Felix overheard two squirrels talking excitedly. "There's a hidden chicken coop near the farmer's barn," one squirrel whispered. "It's full of food." Felix's eyes gleamed greedily. "A secret feast?" he grinned. Without thinking carefully, he raced toward the farm that very night. The moon shone brightly as Felix crept through the grass. Soon, he spotted the chicken coop. Inside were fat chickens and baskets of eggs. Felix licked his lips happily. "This will be easy." But nearby, Olivia the owl watched silently from above. "Be careful," she warned softly. "Things are not always what they seem." Felix rolled his eyes. "You worry too much." The fox squeezed through a tiny opening into the coop. But the moment he stepped inside, snap! A cage door slammed shut around him. Felix panicked. He pushed and clawed desperately at the bars. "It's a trap!" he cried. Soon, the farmer's footsteps echoed nearby. Felix trembled with fear. "Help me!" he begged. Olivia flew down quietly beside the cage. "You ignored wisdom because you believed you knew everything," she said gently. Felix lowered his ears sadly. "I was foolish," he admitted. "Please. I'll never act this way again." The owl looked at him carefully. Then she used her sharp claws to loosen the cage latch. Click! The cage swung open. Felix quickly escaped into the forest. But this time, he wasn't smiling proudly. Back in the forest, Felix gathered the animals together. "I owe you all an apology," he said quietly. "I thought being clever meant tricking others." Olivia nodded gently. True wisdom means thinking carefully and treating others kindly. From that day on, Felix changed. He stopped playing cruel tricks, helped smaller animals, and listened before acting. And whenever he faced a difficult choice, he remembered the wise owl's words. And so, the forest learned. Being clever is not the same as being wise. Because true wisdom comes from humility, careful thinking, and learning from mistakes. If this story found its way to your heart, subscribe or follow the channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss the next one. Every story begins here, and every time you share it, it reaches a little further.